From giant chainsaws to fracking equipment, here are 13 of the most terrifying industrial machines ever. Number 13. The chain trencher. A chainsaw on wheels. That is the chain trencher. Its job is to dig trenches by essentially cutting the ground. This tool is often used for construction crews that want to lay pipe. One model of the chain trencher, the Tesmec TRS 1675, can dig trenches up to 24 feet deep and 26 feet wide. With a tool like that, it shouldn't be surprising that trench work can be dangerous. A man working on a construction crew in Guam was killed when he fell into the trench and was struck by the trenching machine. Number 12. Shellfish-Shucking Machines. In 2014, a man was violently killed after he was caught in a shellfish-shucking machine. He was cleaning the machine and got caught in a rotary turbine engine. Police said it took the fire department nearly an hour to free the man's body after partially dismantling the machine. He was pronounced dead on the scene. There are many inherent dangers. Any little mistake or malfunction can cause injury or death, even when working with shellfish. Number 11. The Walking Tree Harvester. This thing is unnecessarily scary looking, and if you are a tree, it is truly terrifying. The idea behind this next machine is quite simple. Harvesters cut down trees and sometimes need to go places where wheels would be a very bad idea. To compensate for such terrain, the walking harvester was created as a kind of lumberjack. Developed in the 1990s, the machine is able to walk because of sensors in its legs. These sensors react automatically to soft, sloping, or uneven terrain. A computer control system distributes weight and supports all 6 legs equally. The machine walks over obstacles and the operator adjusts the ground clearance and height for each step. Walking harvesters also wreak less havoc on the environment than the traditional harvester on treads. Well, besides the fact that it was made to eat the forest. Number 10. The Feller Buncher. It's a machine with a giant claw that has a saw attachment. A logging harvester like the one discussed a moment ago, the Feller Buncher can cut through trees, pick them up, rip off the branches, and set them aside. It can take down 2 trees in 6 seconds. Imagine if those were people, and then things would start getting very scary. Number 9. The Forage Harvester. This could come in handy for the zombie apocalypse. A forage harvester, also known as a silage harvester, forager, or chopper, is a farm implement that harvests forage plants to make silage. Silage, or silage, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, is grass, corn, or other plants used for feeding livestock. This farming tool looks like a lawnmower on steroids. It can either be a dedicated machine or a tool that can be attached to a tractor. In 2008, 29-year-old Justin Jansen, a farmhand, was run over by a forage harvester and died. The details of his death are unclear, but it's enough to make you think twice before getting close to this machine. Number 8. The Tunnel Boring Machine. Also known as a mole, tunnel boring machines excavate tunnels with a circular cross-section through anything from hard rock to sand. The largest tunnel boring machine is named Bertha, which has a boring width of 57 feet 3 inches and is currently burrowing underneath Seattle. As of March 2017, it's only 1,000 feet from completing its job, but work has ceased because the machine appears to be several inches off course. Tunnel boring machines are an alternative to drilling and blasting methods in rock and conventional hand mining in soil. They don't disturb the surrounding ground, and they create a smooth tunnel wall, which reduces cost and makes them perfect to use in heavily urbanized areas. However, they are also incredibly expensive. Elon Musk has tweeted an image of a tunnel boring machine he hopes to use to create underground roads. It was an idea that came to him while being stuck in LA traffic. While these pieces of machinery are expensive but useful, accidents do happen. In 2013, a man in Ireland was killed while a tunnel boring machine was in use. Number 7. The Continuous Rock Miner. A continuous rock miner is a machine with a large rotating steel drum equipped with tungsten carbide teeth that scrape coal from the seam. Operating in a room and pillar system where the mine is divided into a series of 20 to 30-foot rooms or work areas cut into the coal bed, it can mine as much as 5 tons of coal a minute, more than a miner of the 1920s would produce in an entire day. Continuous miners use conveyors to transport the removed coal from the seam. Remote-controlled continuous miners are used to work in a variety of difficult seams and conditions, and robotic versions controlled by computers are becoming increasingly common. All of this sounds wonderful until you see the thing. It looks like a forager but for underground. Since 1984, there have been 35 deaths where miners have been pinned, crushed, or struck by continuous mining machines in underground coal mines. Number 6. The Bagger 288. Welcome to the single largest land vehicle on Earth, the Bagger 288. It is a 13,500-ton beast that chews up mountains. The Bagger 288 is a 315-foot-high, 721-foot-long bucket wheel excavator built by the Krupp Company for the German mining firm Rheinbronn. It originally operated at the Taigbau Hambach strip mine in western Germany, where it removed layers of topsoil from coal seams prior to mining. It also mines coal. While at the Hambach strip mine, the Bagger 288 used its 8-story tall impeller to scoop up to 240,000 tons of coal per day. If you take your standard soccer field and dig down 98 feet within its boundaries, that's about what the Bagger 288 pulls out of the ground every day. That's enough to fill 2,400 coal wagons and completely exhaust the coal supply at the Taigbau Hambach in just 23 years. It now works at a new site in Garzweiler and helps to produce 100 million tons of coal a year. If it looks a little familiar, it's probably because you've seen it before. The machine has made an appearance in Ghost Rider, Spirit of Vengeance, and The Hunger Games: Catching Fire. Number 5. The Godzilla Saw. The Godzilla Saw, which operates in Kazakhstan, towers over 300 feet, weighs over 45,000 tons, costs $100 million, and can scoop 4,500 tons of coal per hour. It's used at a strip coal mine that was built in 1969. This mine has been so productive in pulling coal that in 1985, it was put into the Guinness Book of World Records. Why is it so scary? Well, just look at it. Number 4. The Car Shredder. Today, scrap metal is at a premium. To help meet demand, cars at the end of their lives are shredded. The biggest of them can eat 450 cars in an hour. In Newport, Wales, the Lynx Automotive Shredder works out of one of the largest facilities of its kind. The plant is run by the Sims Group UK. The Lynx works like a conventional shredder while being the size of a brontosaurus. Cars are first crushed to reduce their volume, then fed into the machine. The feeder pipe allows large chunks of scrap to pass through to the shredding area, while a twin-roll compression feeder prevents too much material from hitting the shredder at the same time and clogging the mechanism. A series of huge, rapidly spinning hammers, powered by a 40-ton high-voltage electric motor, tear the vehicle into fist-sized chunks. It is so big and so powerful it had to be wired directly into the Welsh national power grid to draw sufficient current. What comes out of the shredder is high-density, uniform, fragmentized scrap. The machine is capable of handling a wide variety of materials. After being shredded, the plastics, rubber, carpet, and glass pieces are separated and sent off for separate recycling. The metal, copper, ferrous, and non-ferrous scrap and aluminum are then exported globally. About 60% will reach Southeast Asia, where the demand for scrap is the highest. The company exports roughly 2.5 million tons of metal annually. On the other side of the pond, there is the Mega Shredder in New Jersey. It is run by the same company and can consume 4,000 tons of metal in a day and spit out between 2,800 and 3,000 tons of steel, aluminum, copper, brass, and a mishmash they call Zorba. Number 3. The ACCO Super Bulldozer. The ACCO Super Bulldozer is the largest bulldozer ever built. It was manufactured by the Italian ACCO for Libya in 1980. The 40-foot-long vehicle has a 23 by 9-foot blade and 2 Caterpillar engines. Only one example was built, but it never arrived to Libya because the UN adopted a trade embargo against the country. Never used, it was tucked away into a storage unit for almost 30 years. Recently, it was moved away from the abandoned facility 2 years ago and restored. Number 2. The Caterpillar 797. The Caterpillar 797 is a series of off-highway trucks. These are two-axle mechanical powertrain haul trucks that were manufactured specifically for high production mining and heavy-duty construction. In production since 1998, the 797 series represents Caterpillar's largest, highest capacity haul trucks. The current third-generation model, the 797F, offers one of the largest haul capacities in the world, up to 400 tons. Moving a 797 requires disassembly, loading onto semi-trailer trucks, transport, and reassembly at the new location. If a 797 must be moved from one job site to another for any reason, it cannot be driven on public roads due to its size and weight. Number 1. Fracturing pumpers. At first glance, this equipment is small and unassuming. It's not huge or prone to kill the people around it if they become careless. There are no Guinness World Record holders for fracturing pumpers. However, it's the end result that makes these rather ordinary-looking pieces of equipment so very terrifying. While a study showed that earthquakes are induced mostly by the injection of wastewater into the ground, something done at all well drilling operations, pieces of equipment are part of the reason why certain states have been having an above-average amount of earthquakes. To reach rocks at deeper depths, miners have to get around the immense amount of pressure being applied by overlaying rock layers. To do that, fluids are introduced using fracturing pumpers. This process is called hydraulic fracturing or fracking and is done using an encased wellbore. The U.S. Geological Survey claims that injecting wastewater into the ground is mainly responsible for earthquakes. Wastewater is produced by all oil drilling sites. However, a new study suggested that fracking may have a larger part to play. A University of Calgary geologist pointed that small earthquakes occurred before and after a fracking and are confined to a small area. Thanks for watching! Remember to subscribe if you're new here, and see you next time. Bye!